I think he looks like a mini Jay Alvarez. If you don't know who Jay Alvarez is, that's what he looks like. Got the same surfer boy hair. I'm hoping that's what his body looks like underneath. I mean, from what I could see that was unclothed, it was looking pretty good.
You know, they develop these crushes on random men and then they record themselves making a whole video talking about some stranger and then deciding to post it on the internet.
I'm a little I've drove like 4 hours for some before.
There are a lot of women who, if they're attracted to you enough, they will do crap like this. They will drive 4 hours, they will come see you very, very far away. But those same people will try and convince you as a man to put in all of the effort for a fraction in return. Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again, and on today's episode we have a video here from Locke the Bounty Hunter titled Modern Professional Makes an Embarrassing Flex. So we're going to be kicking it off with this woman right here who says that she thinks that she has found her husband. So let's take a listen, guys. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Guys, I think I found my husband. So it all started 2 days ago. I was at a coffee shop and I saw this cute guy walk by. He was wearing a beanie. We caught eyes. He got his coffee and then left. End of that day. Moving on to the next day, minding my business, working out at the gym. And who do I see at my gym? It's coffee shop guy. I don't know about all you other girls, but I give everyone a nickname. And my roommate was there with me. So I think he looks like a mini Jay Alvarez. If you don't know who Jay Alvarez is, that's what he looks like. Got the same surfer boy hair. I'm hoping that's what his body looks like underneath. I mean, from what I could see that was unclothed, it was looking pretty good.
I am Jack's complete lack of surprise.
There's certain things you can always count on in life. Broken clocks will always be right twice a day. Die Hard will always be an awesome movie regardless of the time of year. And modern women will see Lord Chaddington in the wild and instantly assume he wants to marry her. She knows literally nothing about this guy, only that he works out, has surfer hair, and yet still has an apparent affinity for beanies. But that's more than enough for her. She doesn't know if the guy is single or even if he's straight. But just one look at him and she already assumes that he's gonna want to marry her. And at no point does it even dawn upon this chick that this dude gets a say in anything. She says, I see a hot guy and he's gonna marry me. The second this guy realizes that you post your everyday life on TikTok, he's gonna avoid you like the plague known as main character syndrome, and that's just for his own health.
So obviously I'm too scared. I don't go up to him at the gym. Plus, I don't know, like, do you guys want girls to go up to them at the gym? They're in the zone, you know? And me and my roommate are about to leave, but I convinced her to do a lap around the gym one more time so I can see it.
I don't know about you guys, but I personally find it really creepy how you have women who, you know, they develop these crushes on random men and then they record themselves making a whole video talking about some stranger and then deciding to post it on the internet. Okay, and I don't know about you guys either with this, but I don't want to be spoken to by random women when I'm at the gym either. Okay, a lot of guys are not talking to women at the gym. They're not talking to women at the grocery store, at the library, at the coffee shop. Men are not talking to women as much anymore because oftentimes it is a risk for men to do that. Okay, this is the world that a lot of these modern women wanted, right? You wanted men to be afraid. You wanted men to just mind their own business and not talk to you, not offer help. And that's exactly what men are doing. And you can tell, right? It's a little bit, she wants this guy's attention, but she doesn't want to do it herself. She doesn't actually want to speak to the guy.
Nowhere to be found, so we leave. As we're walking out, he's right in front of us. So we're walking out and he holds the door open as we leave. All I can say is thank you. Another missed opportunity.
Are you sure?
I don't see how you could be minding your own business at the gym, but then decide to stalk the poor guy who just wanted to work out in peace. And you have the gall to wonder if it's socially acceptable to hit on a guy in the gym, even though modern women have made it abundantly clear that if a man were to shift his vision for a quarter of a second in her general direction, then he's a stalker. But because it's Zard Chadsky, it's totally fine for you to stalk him at the gym because the concept of double standards is completely lost on you. And for the record, you haven't missed an opportunity with this guy. He did what a large number of men do and kept the door open for the next person. It's the same standard you hold to us 80% of the time, and all we ask is the same of you in return because it's only fair. This wasn't an opportunity for a conversation or even a flirtation. Men have better things to do with their time than hang out and chat in gym vestibules.
So later that day I posted on my story and tagged the gym, and say, "Hi, my name is Kellen and I hope I can meet you." My hope is that the gym reposts my story and for some reason he's following and he sees it. I have no idea how old this kid is, anything about him, but shoot my shot. Follow along for more updates.
I love how this woman's version, this is the classic modern woman version of shooting her shot. Okay, refuses to actually talk to the guy, of course, but what does she do? She does the roundabout way of initiating communication with the man that you could possibly ever do, and then expects him to, reach out to her and say hello after seeing her on the gym story. It's absolutely ridiculous, right? You have so many women who they refuse to talk to men, but expect men to talk to them and expect men to pick up the slack. And again, guys, I will say this. I think it's really creepy that you have individuals posting videos like this. Like, can you guys imagine if dudes were posting videos like this in the same numbers? Like, we were just sitting here talking about how we saw some woman at the gym, we gave her a nickname, we're hoping she sees us, and it's just so incredibly cringe. I miss the days, guys, when the internet wasn't really this huge thing where everyone just had to share all the personal details about their lives, and people actually kept their private lives private. But here we are just sharing absolute nonsense to anybody who will listen.
About him, but shoot my shot. Follow along for more updates.
And once again, just like clockwork, we see the blatant double standards modern women hold towards men. Now, woman, let's say that the tables were turned and it was a man who made a post on the gym's social media page and he somehow tracked you down and sent you a message. Would you find this to be a romantic gesture from your future husband, or would you immediately post a video on TikTok about how you feel unsafe at the gym? It all depends on how attractive that man is, because in your eyes, there's a fine line between serendipity and social media stalking. Intentional or not, you just asked for the employ of tens of thousands of internet strangers to track down a guy just because you found him physically attractive. That's not normal, nor is it acceptable behavior. It's an invasion of privacy, and that is shameful.
Shame on you, and shame on you, and shame on your whole ill-mannered town.
What is the craziest thing that you've ever done to get some?
That's why I praise the Lord for prostitutes.
I'm a little I've drove like 4 hours for some before.
Really?
I've hopped on a flight for some before.
That's nothing to be proud of, Rusty.
Is it just me, or does this broad think that the lengths she's going to perform her boudoir antics are somehow impressive? Because if we look through the window of double standards, which we constantly do, if a man gets on a flight for the same reason, he's either a simp, a moron, or desperate. Any way you slice it, it's not going to look good for him. But when you do it, it's a funny story. Or
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about as well. When I say, obviously, this woman is some kind of professional, right? But there are a lot of women who, if they're attracted to you enough, they will do crap like this. They will drive 4 hours. They will come see you very, very far away. But those same people will try and convince you as a man to put in all of the effort for a fraction in return. Okay, so at the same time, you have these girls going out here chasing these dudes, putting in all this effort. But for the average guy who she won't even look his direction, oh, he has to pay dinner dates, he has to pay the bills, he has to look after her, he has to protect her. But some dude who's highly attractive, no, it's all good. We will drive 4 hours to see him, in the middle of the night, thunderstorming if need be.
at the very least, just one of those things. It's kind of crazy how only freaks girls openly talk about their conquests as if it's some kind of a flex, but they remain blissfully unaware that this kind of behavior makes her unappealing to almost every single self-respecting man across the globe. It's not nearly as impressive as you think, woman. The higher your body count, the lower your value, and this has been common knowledge since the dawn of time.
I've had been crazy places for like
where?
I've have like in a football announcement, like the press box area. I've done one of those.
Were you announcer?
No, not the announcer. One of the players.
Oh, what team?
This was back in college. So the Bobcats, Ohio University.
Oh, at Ohio.
Yeah, this was back in college.
Oh, that's disgusting.
This might be a controversial take, but I have always been of the firm belief that a majority of American college students get up to some of the dumbest things imaginable during their tenure of higher education. I should know, I was one. Now, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of students out there who actually want to better themselves and get the most out of their college because they're getting degrees that actually matter. So they don't get up to the same antics, and that goes without saying, but come on, there are precious few things in life that are as rabid as American Midwestern college football. Just look at some of the stories about college students and their illegal shenanigans they get up to whenever their team wins or loses. Disturbing the peace, destruction of property, and straight up arson are some of the tamer tales of that particular aspect of college life.
I totally agree with Locke here, in that a lot of the higher education, you know, college, university, whatever it's called where you guys are, right? A lot of these places that claim to be quote unquote higher, you know, higher education are just oftentimes indoctrination camps that pump out useless degrees and prey on the future of people by putting them in massive amounts of debt, right? And then not only that, okay, but a lot of the girls that go here, they go here to have fun, right? They travel to different states, they go to universities and things like this, and a lot of them just treat it as though it's some sort of just some big fun game where we can go out and hang with a whole bunch of guys and there's going to be no social repercussions for it.
But I guess we can also add getting shameful into the press box on that particular list of accolades, and that just seems wrong. I honestly hope that dude's coach didn't find out about that little tidbit.
Women weaken legs.
And like those bounce houses that you like blow up and jump in, those are fun.
So those are all things that you've done just to get some, like you were, like this is the only place we can, right now, I'm gonna here.
Yeah, like if you don't have anywhere else to go or your place is too far, like, okay, let's get it in right here.
Emotional damage.
I don't think I'm alone on this when I say that stories like this make me long for the days of old, back when men were men and women had enough common sense to not accumulate a body count so large it makes the Hadley's Hope incident from Aliens seem like a quaint chapter in human terraforming history. There was a time that if a single woman had a body count of 1, she was considered unclean and unworthy of a mate. This wasn't about control. It was about an emotional bond that was essential for the home and the well-being of the children. It's basic biology and psychology, and those can't be disputed with imaginary social constructs. But those days have long since gone the way of the dodo, and they've been replaced with psychological damage and backwards ideologies.
I love how if you're a dude, right, and you sit here and you say, well, I don't want to date a woman like this. You know, I don't want to date a professional. Okay, I don't want to date a girl who has been around with a whole bunch of different dudes, right? A lot of people would consider that a reasonable take, but there is also a lot of people these days that will call you insecure. They will call you, you know, all sorts of names to try and shame you into dating women like this. And the fact is that Locke is absolutely right. Men who respect themselves do not want to take women like this seriously. I have said this for a long time on the channel, guys, but you know, a lot of these women, they go out there, they have their fun, and then they cry and they get angry, they get frustrated at men, they blame men for all of their problems when the consequences come around. And the consequences are that a man does not want to commit to you. This is why you have so many women these days who are single. This is why you have so many of them who are, you know, 35 and they're crying because they're running out of time to have children. It's because the men that they want don't want them. And even the men that they don't want, right? Sorry, what I'm trying to say here is the men that want them don't want them. But even the men that they don't want, a lot of those guys don't want them either. So, you know, these girls, they have their fun, they go out there, they have their wild times, but then they end up in a little bit of a pickle down the road.
It almost makes you want to pray for the asteroid. Almost. I can't help but laugh at the cringe. Let's be real. If society's gonna crumble, you might as well have a few laughs in the meantime.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
I have an idea that might help women that are staying at home with their kids and whose partner tells them that they do nothing all day and that they better cook, they better clean, they better do everything because they're not going to get help from them because they work and do everything. I want you, Mom, I want you to be like, you know what, you're right. This job is so easy. It's so boring.
It is!
I have to stay home with the kids. Ugh, I need something a little bit harder. So go get yourself a part-time job.
Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode.
But when you get yourself the part-time job, make sure that you get your hours opposite of his schedule so that he has to stay home with those kids while you're at work part-time, okay?
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
If modern marriages have taught us anything, it's that when a man is making enough money to ensure that the mother of his children will never have to work again, she will always find a pointless reason to be ungrateful. She has the incredible luxury of being a stay-at-home mom, and she's claiming her job is so hard that she doesn't have time to cook or clean, which are literally the bare minimum standards of what it takes to be a stay-at-home mom. But
you know what, guys? I have a solution to this, okay? How about these women who complain about this particular role, how about they go out and do the work, right? Let's see them go out there and make a living and provide and care for their family. Let's see them go out there into the workforce and the man can stay home and look after the children. Guys, I am not a single father. I do not have kids, okay? But I have heard plenty of men talk about raising children and stuff like this, and how a lot of them thought it was hard to, you know, clean up and take care of the kids. And little do they find out that it's actually not that damn difficult. Okay? These women will find a way to complain about everything, absolutely everything. You can give them their life on easy mode, you can hand it to them on a silver platter, but they don't want to even stay home and take care of a kid that is also theirs, okay? And the funny part about this, guys, is that for the average woman, for the majority of women, if you give them the ability to go out there and work and not look after a family, they will ditch the guy because he's not working. They don't want either role. They don't want the stay at home and look after the kids, which is easier, and they don't want the work either because they feel as though the husband is still slacking off and he's not doing enough to provide for the family. No matter which way you slice this, the men do not win. Why? Because we are dealing with an ungrateful individual here. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, the solution is, you know, if working is so easy and the man has the easy end of the stick, and you just have it so difficult cleaning the house and, you know, looking after the child, which by the way is yours, you would think that the way that a lot of these modern women speak, you would think that the child's not even theirs because they don't even seem to like the thing, right? But if that's so difficult, how about you go out there and you collect money? How about you go work? But they realize, guys, that work isn't something where you just show up to like, you know, a magical place where you collect money and then you leave. You actually have to work.
But she somehow was able to not only concoct a cockamamie scheme to emotionally hurt her sole income-earning husband, but also post it onto social media. And at no point does she actually point out what she does all day, only that it's hard work. But what else can you expect from a woman who wears leopard print? It's the standard issue uniform for the middle-aged modern woman, complete with the attitude of a cat, sadistic, spoiled, and an overwhelming desire to be worshipped at all times.
So come back. I want you to come back home and be like, well, because you already know that the house isn't going to be clean. There's going to be no food cooked, but the kids might be alive. So when you come back, I want you to be like, that's dirty. That's disgusting. Where's dinner? And he's going to say, well, I was watching the kids all day. And you're going to say, yeah, well, I watch the kids too when you're working and the house is clean and whatever. And I expect the same from you. And if he's like, I can't, it's so hard.
I love how this woman is complaining about her job being so difficult, but let's just take a, you know, let's just sit down. Let's take the time to appreciate that this woman takes time out of her really busy and difficult schedule to record this video of her complaining on TikTok for us, you know? Nothing says I have a difficult job quite like sitting down and complaining on TikTok, does it? You know, guys, I know people who have genuinely difficult jobs that are very time consuming, you know, manual hard labor. And you know what I don't see them doing? I don't see them crying and complaining on TikTok and saying how life is unfair. I don't see that at all.
Really? It's hard? I thought it was easy. I thought it was easy. So you know what I'm gonna do now? Now this is what you gotta say, okay? Now I'm gonna get a full-time job. Yes, sir. And you gotta pay for daycare, buddy. You gotta pay half of daycare. Yeah, yes you do.
Give me cancer now, guy!
All right, woman, I'll bite. Let's create a fantasy world here. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that your husband is hardworking enough to earn an income to support the entire family, but he's also somehow so incompetent that he cannot run a household by himself or take care of his own children. Then my first question is, why the hell did you marry him? Seems like something you should know before you breed with him. And second, why would you endanger the safety of your kids just for the off chance so you can be needlessly petty? What on earth do you have to gain from that? What do your children have to gain from that? To me, it would be a lot less manipulative to just throw some dirty clothes in the washing machine and push a button, spend a half an hour cooking dinner, and running a vacuum across the carpet than it would to have to do all of that, plus work a part-time job. And if what you're saying is true, then your entire plan is pointless because it's going to be the same thing either way. The house is going to be dirty and there's not going to be any food on the table. So what is the point?
And you gotta clean and you gotta cook because now I'm working. That's what you tell them. Now I'm working, okay? And I'm helping you pay all these bills.
I feel sorry for the children in these situations, okay? This woman is clearly insane. And my concern goes out to the children. I don't care about this woman in particular. She can sit here, she can cry all day on TikTok for all I damn care about it, okay? But I always feel really sad for the children in these situations because, you know, this is the child's mother. This child's mother is psychotic. Okay, she is manipulative, she is rude, and she is abrasive. So, you know, these kids are going to grow up in a lot more difficult of a situation than it needs to be.
And I'm not going to be the only one. I'm not going to be paying half these bills and doing all the cleaning and cooking. So you better get your fat ass up and you better cook, bitch. And you better clean. That's a good idea. And girls, when you do that, please let me know how that situation and experience goes for you. And if you're not in a relationship anymore, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Man, that's just mean. That's mean, man.
Hey lady, your husband is working his fingers to the bone to provide you with an ideal lifestyle that most people can't afford nowadays, and your reaction to this is to film yourself disrespecting him in the worst of possible ways. You're also swearing in front of your impressionable children. All you're doing is documenting evidence for his divorce lawyer. Now, you'll most certainly get child support, alimony, and sole custody of the kids, but even with that money coming in today's economy, you'll not only have to cook and clean, but also earn a full-time living with health insurance just to support your kids.
Watch her still find a way to complain about it, by the way, guys, right? We have situations where single mothers are going out here, they're divorcing their husbands, they're ruining their husbands' lives, they're taking the kids, they're taking all of the money. And even when I see situations like that, you know what, guys? I still see women complain. I still see a lot of these girls who are single mothers cry about how society doesn't help them enough and how men aren't committing to them anymore. And you know what? It is absolutely hilarious. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to go and subscribe to Lock the Bounty Hunter. I'm going to leave his channel linked in the video description. And as always, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves. And I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.